After I paid off my parents' house, they left it to my sister in the will and didn't mention me once. The lawyer read the whole thing out loud, and the entire time my mother sat across from me, studying her hands, while my sister Dana sat next to her, barely hiding a smile. When he finished, Dana reached over and squeezed my mother's arm like they'd just survived something together. I sat there for 4 seconds before my ears worked again. Then I stood up and walked out without a word. Made it to my car before my hands started shaking so hard I couldn't get the key in the door. I sat behind the wheel for 10 minutes just trying to breathe. $166,000. 6 years of my life, and they couldn't even put my name in the margin. I'm 31. Accounting degree I paid for myself. Studio apartment 3 hours from where I grew up. Savings account that used to have a lot more in it. My name is Jonah. My sister Dana is 27. Works part-time at a yoga studio. Never lived more than 20 minutes from our mother. Growing up, she was the one mom called for Sunday dinners. I was the one she called when something needed fixing. I thought that was a strength. I'm less sure now. Our dad died 4 years ago. Stroke, quick. He worked construction 30 years and spent the last decade watching the mortgage eat whatever savings he'd built. 3 weeks after the funeral, Mom called me on a Tuesday night, voice flat and small in a way I'd never heard. Mortgage was 4 months behind. She'd been covering it with credit cards. She wasn't asking for anything, just telling me, the way people tell things to the one person they trust to hold it. Dana had been over twice that week, but this call was mine. I asked how much. She told me. I did the math in 30 seconds. Called her back 2 hours later and said I'd cover the payments going forward. She cried, the quiet kind that sounds like relief escaping. I said don't worry, it's going to be fine. And then I did exactly that for the next 6 years. The transfers just went. First of every month. $1,640, the exact mortgage payment. First of every month, plus $200 extra when taxes went up. No car, subway, no vacation for 3 years. I missed 2 friends' weddings because I couldn't afford flights in months. The house had unexpected expenses. In year 3, the company did layoffs and I barely survived. For 6 weeks, I covered both my rent and the house payment from emergency savings because I couldn't bring myself to call her. I picked up freelance clients at 2 in the morning and worked nights until things stabilized. Then year 4, I got a promotion. Real money. I looked at what was left on the mortgage, $48,200, and built toward it for 8 months. One Friday morning, I wired the full balance and sat at my desk refreshing the screen until it said complete. Then drove 3 hours to my mother's house and handed her a bank printout. Zero balance. Paid in big letters. She held it in both hands and hugged me the way she used to when I was a kid and had done something she was genuinely proud of. Over her shoulder, I could see Dana in the kitchen doorway watching. She wasn't smiling. She had a look I couldn't name, like someone who'd just been handed a problem and was already working out what it changed. I saw it. I filed it somewhere I couldn't find when I needed it later. I drove home feeling lighter than I had in years. I thought it was over. I was wrong. 4 months later, Mom mentioned on the phone she'd updated her will, slipped it in the middle of a longer call, tucked between a story about the neighbor's fence and a church fundraiser, said everything was sorted. I said good, didn't ask. Then a few weeks later, I got a voicemail from her that stopped mid-sentence. She'd started to ask me something and just stopped. No callback. When I called back, she said it was nothing. She'd figured it out. I said figured what? She said just something she'd been thinking through. We talked 10 minutes about nothing and hung up. What she'd almost asked, I found out later, was whether I had any documentation of the payments. She'd started to ask, and then thought better of it. The plan was already being made. She was already covering angles. That's when I started digging, and what I found out changed everything I thought I knew about my own family. Full story is only on Spotify. Search Randy Reads. It's free.